How you guys doing? This is 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is breaking down the books. Yesterday we had a pretty good day for a long slate of basketball, short slate of hockey. Gave you guys 10 picks. Starting with the NHL, we had Tampa Bay minus 1.5. They didn't cover. They ended up winning by 1, a 3-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Gave you guys Washington Nationals plus 1.5. I should have gave you guys the money line, but I gave you the plus 1.5. They covered in what was a crazy seventh inning. Um, if it wasn't the sixth inning. Anyways, NBA gave you guys Cleveland plus 9.5. They covered. Detroit versus Indiana under 210. That didn't hit. Gave you Miami versus Memphis over 213. That hit. Gave you Brooklyn minus 3.5. That game was crazy. Kyrie Irving made a serious comeback for his team, but they couldn't secure the victory, unfortunately. We didn't get the cover. Gave you guys Philadelphia 76ers minus 5.5. That covered. Gave you Dallas Mavericks minus 8.5. Holy shit. Dallas was up like 20 points at one point. They ended the third quarter up 20 points, and they couldn't capitalize on the 8.5. They ended up covering by just 8 points, and we lost by a point five. That shit happens more often than you'd believe. Losing by a point five. That really sucks, but it is what it is. Gave you New York versus San Antonio over 213.5. That hit, and gave you OKC versus the Utah Jazz under 221.5, which also ended up hitting. So overall, we went 6 of 10. Not a bad day at all. We're gonna move on to today. Starting with the NHL. So we got the Arizona Coyotes versus the New York Islanders, where we got Kemper at net for the Coyotes and Varlamov at net for the Islanders. Coyotes are underdogs in this game. Islanders are favorite 1.86, paying on your dollar, so 86 cents on your buck. You got under 5.0, which is the total in this game. Now, let's just break this down real quick. Quamper is a 1.68 goal against average versus Varmalov, who's a 2.55 goal against average. Granted, um, Varlamov only played 4 games. Quamper played 6, so you can't really gauge that based on those numbers. Varlamov doesn't have a proper indication of how high the game is actually going to go. Now, both of these guys are actually on win streaks right now. I like the Coyotes. Last time I gave you guys the Coyotes, they ended up covering for us. Not to spend too much time on this. The Islanders have their backup at net, so that's not necessarily a good look. And Quimper seems to be the goalie that the Coyotes are going to be using going forward. Although they do have a nice slate of goalies. I like the under in this game, but I'm not going to give it. I like the Coyotes in this game as underdogs, and that's probably going to be my first play of the day moving forward. So I'm going to give you guys the Coyotes as underdogs, putting their win streak on the line versus the Islanders, who are also putting their win streak on the line. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm not going to touch the under. I think it's a little too low at 5.0. But anyways, that's all I got to say about that. Moving along, we got the Buffalo Sabres versus the New York Rangers, where we got Allmark at net, Linus Allmark, who hasn't been playing too bad for the Sabres, and we got handsome Henrik Lundqvist, no homo, playing at net for the New York Rangers. And again, uh, Sabres, if you guys are not going to bet on the Sabres, just don't bet on anybody at all. I personally don't want to bet on the Sabres. I don't like Linus Allmark, honestly. Last time he got switched off at the last minute, I wasn't too pleased with how that result ended up going down. So I'm not gonna pick a spot over here. What I am gonna say is I lean New York to cover, because holy shit, they can't keep on losing, right? But I wouldn't give the plus 1.5 because it's not giving enough money. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to skip out on this game altogether. Moving along, we got the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Um, Hurricanes playing a very good brand of hockey. Blue Jackets seem to have picked it up a little bit. We got a favorite in the road dog. The road favorite is Carolina here, playing 80 cents on your buck. The total is at 6.0. Not it's not crazy, but it's kind of it's a little low, 6.0, when the trend's been over. But it's low justifiably so, because basically Peter Mrazek is at net for the Hurricanes. We got Corpusalo at net for Columbus. 2.64 goal against average for Peter Mrazek, plus a 2.70 average for Corpusalo. The two of these numbers together gauge into just under 6, and it basically gives you two. It gives you 5.3, 5.34 to be precise, and this is just off the top math. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure if this game is going to stay under. I feel like it's going to stay under. I feel like these teams are going to be battling and it's going to stay under, but I'm really not sure how it's going to work out between the two of them. So if I had to pick a choice, I would go with Columbus for having picked it up. They seem to be playing a better brand of hockey, but I'm honestly a little confused as to who's going to win this game. Because, like I said, Carolina is a hot team. You know what I mean? They've been playing very well with a 6-3 goal, a 6-3 record. And you got the Blue Jackets who didn't start very well, but they picked it up. So I would go with the home dogs here, but more precisely, I'll give you the under in this game. If you could buy a point, you could buy a point. I like the under 6.5. So I won't give the 6.0. I'll buy a point and go under 6.5 so I could avoid the push in the event that it stops at 4-2 victory for either team, which I could see it going either way in a 4-2 victory. Anyways, moving along, we got the Sharks versus the Montreal Canadiens. San Jose, road dog here. Not necessarily justifiable because San Jose beat Montreal in like their last 8 meetings that they played against them. But over here, we know that we got Aaron Dell. Aaron Dell is not the best goalie. He has a 50-50 record, but he's not playing very well. He has a 3.48 goal against average in 2 games, so that basically means he allowed 4 and 3. You divide that by 2, and you got your numbers. You got Carey Price at net. Carey Price is Carey Price. You know what I mean? He's the highest paid goalie in history. If you're not betting Montreal, you should probably. I mean, if you're not betting Montreal, you're not crazy here. But I would say that you might be a little off, but you're not crazy because Aaron Dell is not like again. Aaron Dell is really not the best goalie. Montreal has the second best shots against average in the league at home. At home. So while they don't play that hot on the road, overall they're allowing a lot of shots on goal. But at home they're only allowing they're actually second in the league in shots allowed in and at home. So with all that said, they're really not paying that much money for me here. So I like the cash. I like to make money. I would give you the Montreal game, but instead I'm gonna give you the over in this game. I'll give you the over 6.5. I won't shy away from it. Unorthodox pick. It's paying a little bit of money, but it's not the money that matters here. It's the pick itself, and if we're gonna win. And I like the over in this game. Maybe Montreal takes advantage of Arundel. Maybe the Sharks try to make it a game. Maybe we go to overtime with a 3-3 tie at the end of regulation. And if that's the case, we just go over the 6.5. If you want to buy it down, you can maybe buy down a point at 6.0. But I'm gonna be ballsy and take the 6.5. We had a good day yesterday. We made money. Let's try to cash. Moving along, we got the LA Kings versus the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis hasn't been playing very well. They're not paying very much money. As of right now, they seem to be paying 57 cents on your dollar. I'm not a big fan of that number right there for the brand of hockey that St. Louis has been playing. We got Jonathan Quick at net, who's horrible. He's horrible right now, and we got Jordan Bennington at net for the reigning defending champs. Jonathan Quick is allowing a lot of goals. St. Louis is not playing very well. They're paying 157. But I mean, how many games? How many games are LA gonna give up? I mean, yeah, they're on a 2-game winning streak, but how many games are they gonna give up? You understand what I mean? Right now, they seem to be they seem to be on the right track. They seem to be doing what they got to do. But I don't know. I don't know. I like the price that they're paying here. They haven't been playing very well at home, and if they want to keep up with the Joneses, the West is a hard division. If they want to keep up, they're probably gonna have to get a victory tonight. I like LA to win here today. They're paying a shit ton of money. You could always go with the plus 1.5, but I like LA for the victory, and that's what I'll give. Moving along. Next game we got the Minnesota Wild versus the Nashville Predators. The Predators are 1.55 to 1, so 55 cents on your buck, and the under is at 6.0. Now, 6.0. Who's at net? Let's check who's at net. Let's break this bad boy down. So, the Nashville Predators got Pecorine at net, and the Minnesota Wild got Stalock at net. Stalock is not Devin Dubnyk, but Devin Dubnyk is not Devin Dubnyk either. I don't like a pick in this game. Nashville is paying way too little on my buck. I don't like a under because these guys usually play to the standards of their team, to the team that they're playing against. So if anything, I would have to give up. I would have to give up a play on either side and move along to the next game. I don't like a play in this game. Anaheim versus Dallas. We got John Gibson at net versus Ben Bishop. Ben Bishop hasn't been playing very well. Dallas is horrible. I go with Anaheim in this game simply by like honestly, what the hell's the reason for Anaheim to be underdogs like this? I mean, yeah, Dallas hasn't played well. I'm sorry. Yeah, they have some victories, but they haven't played well. Not at all. Like, who did they beat? They beat Ottawa. Ottawa team, they beat them 2-1 in a struggle. It was a struggle victory. Then they beat Philadelphia the day before in 4-1 fashion. And anyways, like they got the best of Carter Hart. I didn't think they were gonna get to him, but they did. And it is what it is. I don't think they're that hot. I would go with Anaheim here, and I would even go with the under. But I'm not gonna give the under because I feel like Anaheim is gonna destroy these guys. Give me Anaheim, serious dog. Moving along, Philadelphia versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, Philadelphia has Brian Elliott at net. Chicago has Robin Lehner at net. I'm high on Robin Lehner. He has two overtime losses, but a 1.94 goal against average, which is really good in his three starts. Brian Elliott hasn't played too bad. He has two starts with a 2.55 goal against average, but granted, his team hasn't necessarily been playing the best. They look good when they defend on the back end. They play a certain brand of hockey that's good for them. They're very consistent with their style of play, but I don't know what they're doing really. Um, this game should be a pick'em, and it is. Um, Chicago seems to have the slight edge over here. I like an under in this game. I like Elliott to pick it up and an under in this game. It's at 6.0 the total, and I like an under in this game. Give me the under in the Chicago Flyers game. I don't have a pick on any side, but I'll go with the under in this game. Shit, I got too many picks. Honestly, this today doesn't seem like a kind of day that you want to pick too many of these games. They look all appealing and shit, but it doesn't look like a kind of day that you want to be picking too many of these games. A lot of these games are traps. Yeah, a lot of these games are traps, so you might want to be careful betting on these games today. We're breaking this down. I didn't get a chance to do all my research on the spot. I did get a chance to check to see who's playing. I always stay tuned and I stay sharp with what's going on in the regular season and what's going on um, in the players' lives and things like that. But I didn't get a chance to go in depth. But like just looking at it, I'm telling you right now, this board today is a bunch of trap games. It's a bunch of trap games. Anyways, moving along, we got the Florida Panthers versus the Calgary Flames. Flames are underdogs. Sorry, Flames are favored, while Panthers are underdogs. And at net for the Flames, we got Riddich, and for the Panthers, we got Bobrovsky. I don't have a play in this game. I'd like to go Flames, but they keep on being favorite, and they don't have a reason to be. Like they're not even playing that well. Like honestly, these anyways, I don't have a play in this game. I'm sorry. Like if I were to pick something, I would pick a dog, and it's gonna look like I'm picking all the dogs because like it looks like I'm picking all the dogs, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to pick all the dogs because there's no way that all the dogs hit today. But it really is looking like an underdog day. But I don't think there's any way that all the dogs hit today. Bunch of trap games, like you know what I mean. So if anything, I'll go with the under in this game. But I don't really trust Riddich as a goalie. He doesn't play up to standards. He's has a 2.84 goal against average in 8 starts. So he's pretty consistent as far as his numbers go. So he hasn't cracked the 3 goal against yet. Bobrovsky has, but that's not necessarily his fault. I'm not big on Bobrovsky, but honestly, you got to give credit where credit is due, and I'm gonna sit here and defend this guy. They're not protecting their goalie in Florida, okay? And this is probably why they're underdogs because they're not protecting their goalie, and obviously the goal against average and all this other bullshit. But I don't trust Calgary. Calgary hasn't showed me. They haven't showed me the same game yet. Not any game. They haven't shown not any 2 games that Calgary has played since the beginning of the season has been the same. I can't bet on them. I can't bet on the Panthers. I'm gonna stay away from this game. Next game we got Washington versus EDM. Uh, Washington is a road favorite. Edmonton is at home. They're a slight underdog. They got Koskinen at net, undefeated still. And you got Braden Holtby at net for Washington. Braden Holtby has been trying to bring down his goal against average. It was at 4 point something last week, and he's just brought it down to 3.60. So he's been playing well. He's trying to do something. Um, Koskinen been standing on his head. A lot of you guys, I hear a lot of people in the public, like I got a lot of people like at my workplace and shit like that, and they all disrespect Koskinen. Oh yeah, I don't really like Koskinen. I don't find him that. Put some respect on Koskinen's name. I don't even care for the guy. Put some respect on his name. He's been doing it all. He's been making these guys look like superstars. Have respect for Koskinen. I think tonight. I hate to bet against Washington, but I think tonight would be a very good night to put the over and for Koskinen to let a few goals in. I don't have a winner in this game, but I like the over. Braden Holtby's been letting in goals. He's been trying to play better. Koskinen has not. But if anybody's going to get goals against this guy, it's going to be this Washington team. Washington has a way. They're very crafty. They have a bunch of crafty guys on the offense. And I think if anybody's going to be able to get through them, it's going to be him. And you know what? It's 6.0. And at 6.0, it's a push. It's a push if it's a push with 6. And if you want, you could buy a point. It's probably not going to be that bad of a L. But if you want, you could buy a point and put it 5.5. But I like the 6.0 over here. So I would go with the over in this game. I'll live with the results. If anything, and Edmonton goes up early, you could always check me out on Twitter, 514 Mystic on Twitter. And you could go ahead and check out the in-play options in these games. There's a lot of underdogs, and I'm expecting a lot of crazy shit to happen today. Anyways, before I go ahead and switch sports, I'd like you guys to go ahead and smash that like button at the bottom there. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends what's going on over here. We're giving out free picks. Yesterday we went 6 of 10. If you guys had the right parlays, you guys cashed. We've been cashing since the beginning. We had maybe 2, 3 bad days out of the last 3 weeks. We're almost in November. We just been cashing. We've been doing the right things over here, and that's all. That's all we've been doing. We just been making money. We've been cashing. So go ahead and tell your friends what we're doing over here. So go ahead, smash that like button, share, subscribe, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna move on to football. Football, we got who's playing today? We got the Washington Redskins versus the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are stupid favorite, -17. It's a lot of points. But let's face it, the only team in Washington that's actually going to be doing anything outside of the Washington Capitals is going to be the Washington Nationals. Got the Nationals, the Capitals. The Redskins are really not that good. And betting on them would be a bad idea. I like I like the total here. The total is 42. I like the under here. I like under 42. I might be crazy. I don't think Washington gets a lot of runs. Well, I mean, but it's gonna be hard to tell. But if Washington gets a touchdown, then the game is at risk of going over. But I feel like Washington is gonna get up the field, stop at about the 40, get stumped with the Vikings defense, and every chance they get, they're gonna get stumped, and they're gonna be forced to kick field goals. So I think they're probably gonna get 2 field goals in this game to finish the game. Bold prediction: finish the game in 23-6, which is not even a cover. So well, it would be a push technically. That's if the game doesn't end up being 17.5 before the end of the night. So I would go with the under 42. If you want, you could buy points, but I like the under 42 in this game. We're gonna move along to the association. So the NBA, short slate of games in the NBA. We got three games. We got the Atlanta Hawks versus the Detroit Pistons. Now, like I said yesterday, if you guys are following the show, I'm not gonna be able to break down numbers with you guys because, like I said, there's a lot of player movement, a lot of coaching changes, and a lot of different things that have been going on. So we have to establish some kind of rituals. We have to see if guys are gonna be respecting the traditions. We have to see if guys are gonna have identities and stuff like that. So I don't actually have any. Well, I do have old statistics and trends, but those don't really matter as far as the numbers go. So I'll just give you guys what I could see as far as the I could tell. Um, we got Detroit versus Atlanta. Atlanta's a fast-paced team. They're still gonna be a fast-paced team. They're a bunch of young guys. There's gonna be run, 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 run. So if all we're doing is running, I like the chance of the game going over, but Detroit just played yesterday in a game versus Indiana where they won as the road dog. Then they had to travel back home from Indiana to Detroit. I don't like their chances of covering that 1.5 spread, and I don't like their chances of hitting a bunch of shots. But I might be wrong. It might play in their favor, the fact that they just played yesterday, so maybe the jitters are gone. But it's going to be a different atmosphere. The crowd is going to be crazy for them. It's their first game at home, their home opener. It's also going to be Atlanta's first game. It's going to be a ballsy play to put the under in this game. But I'm going to give you guys the under 221. I don't think Detroit is going to be able to score too many points. Hell, I'll even go Atlanta for the win. But just to not be arrogant for the sake of non-arrogance or humbleness or humility, because humbleness is not a word. So, for the sake of humility, I'll go with the under in this game. Milwaukee Bucks versus Houston Rockets. You know what? 230 is the total. 230.5. Minus 1.5 favorite is the Houston Rockets. You know what? The Bucks lost some guys. The Bucks lost some guys, so they don't have the same team that they had last year, and I think that's gonna play a major factor here. We got the reigning MVP of the previous season playing versus a man who thought he got snubbed for the for the MVP. I was gonna say MVB, which is which is actually justifiable because he is the most valuable player than James Harden. So I honestly like Houston to win here. The minus 1.5 I don't quite like. If I'm not betting against Houston, I might as well bet on the money line because the 1.5 is sketch. We got a bunch of 1.0s today. 1.5, 1.0, whatever it is. Um, but I don't like that. I don't like what I see here. So if anything, I'll bet on Houston money line. Um, just for the sake of being their home opener, having the firepower of Russell Westbrook. We're gonna have to see how they play together. I'm very interested to see how this is gonna work out. Um, but I don't have a clear cut winner. But I think I'm gonna give you guys Houston. Honestly, I'm gonna give you guys Houston. Maybe James Harden plays with a certain amount of fire for being snubbed on his MVP. And last but not least, we got the Warriors at home opener in their new building, state of the art building. That building is crazy. Taco Fall wouldn't get a concussion if he was playing in the new Golden State Arena. There's no way. They made the arena just for people like him. Like, you know what I mean? If you guys didn't hear, Taco Fall ended up getting a concussion after washing his hands in the practice facility in Boston. Crazy. Was it in Boston? In Philly. Or Boston, whichever it was. It was in a practice facility regardless. Golden State doesn't share that problem. Now we got the Clippers who are favored minus 1.0, Golden State who are underdogs plus 1.0, and it's basically a pick 'em. But Golden State's a slight underdog, playing 95 cents on your buck. The total's at 227. I don't see this game going over. I'd give you the under straight up out of the bat. We still got some injuries in the Clippers. Paul George is not going to be playing. And Golden State also is sharing some injuries in one of their best two-way, if not their best two-way player in Klay Thompson, who's probably going to be out for the remainder of the season, so they say. But I believe he's going to be coming back sometime in March, maybe April. I like the Clippers to win here. I mean, it's they have more defense. I'm sorry. I heard Steve Kerr talking about how his team is lacking in defense and all that other stuff. So I don't like I don't like their chances. I don't like the Golden State Warriors chances. But I'm not gonna give you guys a winner. I'll probably wait for in-play action to be able to pick a winner. Excuse me. I'll wait until I'll wait until the Clippers go down 10 points and then bet for the comeback, if anything. So I'm not gonna give a winner in this game, but I will go with the under 227 for the game not to go over. I think it's gonna be a very defensive game. I think Golden State is gonna need some time to gel, and I think they're gonna be smothering Steph Curry. I think Patrick Beverly is gonna be all over Steph Curry. There's gonna be switches where Kawhi is gonna be on Steph. I don't think, man, D'Angelo Russell's gonna have to pick up the game, and with all the craziness and all the wild fans and everything that happens, I don't think he's gonna be ready for that. Yeah, he played in the Lakers, but he didn't play in the Lakers when he didn't play for the Lakers when they were contending. He played for the Lakers when we expected him to be garbage. So I don't think he's gonna be ready for the kind of intensity and the atmosphere that we're gonna have, and that's pretty much gonna be the guy who's gonna have to pick up the slack for Steph. Him, Draymond, and it's gonna be Draymond, Steph, and D'Angelo Russell. So I don't know. I like the under in this game, and I also like the Clippers, but I'm gonna give you guys the under. So, anyways, before I give you guys the rundown, I'd like you guys to go ahead and smash that like button, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and go ahead and check me out on Twitter. I might bother the crap out of you because I post a lot of in plays once the action begins. If I see any that are high paying, I don't like to just share random numbers. But if there's high paying numbers that I think are extremely valuable, or if I pick them, I'll be glad to share them. So just go ahead and follow me on Twitter at 514 Mystic. You could also go and check out Bookie Bullies on Twitter. That's Bookie underscore Bullies. Anyways, you can find all those links in the description below. And basically, I'll give you guys the rundown brought to you by Bookie Bullies. So starting from the top, we got the Arizona Coyotes money line. We got the under in the Carolina game. We got the over in the Sharks game. We got the LA Kings money line against the Blues. We got the Anaheim Ducks money line. Um, what else we got here? Anaheim Ducks money line. We got the under in the Philadelphia game. We got the over in the Washington game. We got the under in Washington versus Minnesota. So don't get those confused. I got under 6.0 in the Washington Capitals versus Edmonton Oilers, and I got the under 42 points in the Washington Redskins versus the Minnesota Vikings. I got the under 221 in the Atlanta versus Detroit Pistons game. I got Houston Rockets money line, and I got the under 227 in the Clippers versus the Warriors game. All those plays will be posted on my Twitter a little bit later. I'll probably have to split them up a bit because we got an 11 play parlay. Well, not parlay, these are 11 plays, 11 play singles. So there's a lot of plays here. As usual, I feel like I'm going to be a winner regardless. But that's just how I feel every time I make these cards. And I'll probably break it down and make a slight parlay. Starting next week, I'm going to be giving 3 sport parlay. So I'll give one parlay for each sport. And I'll probably do that on Sundays also. But that would mean I would have to do Sunday breakdowns. And Sundays are reserved for friends, family, and football and fate, if you'd like. But anyways, that'll be it for me. Like I tell you all the time, please do not bet what you can't afford to lose. Best of luck to all. This is a race. No, sorry. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Do not bet what you can't afford to lose. Be safe, be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow.